And good morning for this Wednesday. The first thing I want to talk about this morning, on the 4th of April from 1 p.m. to 3 p.m., we're going to talk about sex, and specifically about people with disabilities um, accessing sex workers. Um, I know there's varied views and opinions on this topic. Should the NDIS fund people with disabilities accessing sex workers? I know some disabilities people don't have any problem socialising, going out in the community, creating and developing friendships or relationships, finding a, a boyfriend or girlfriend or a partner, as they say these days. And there's other people with disabilities who don't have the ability to get out in the community and to socialise in different environments and have the opportunity that other people enjoy in developing friendships or relationships, permanent or one nighters, whatever the case may be. And my personal opinion is that for those people who struggle getting out in the community and forming relationships, and they want to access sex workers, I think it should be funded by the NDIS. That's my personal opinion. It's only for those people who have difficulties getting out in the community or may have difficulties communicating, whatever the case may be. And I think we need to look at that individual based, and not just cover it, the whole thing with one blanket. So every person with a disability gets to use sex workers. And I received an email this morning. Uh, a question we should be asking is that if we had daughters, how would we feel about them working in the sex industry? Well, as a father of two girls, I wouldn't be happy if they did. I try and talk them out of it, but ultimately it's their decision. Um, they make an informed decision, and they're adults. So I don't have the right to tell them what they can and can't do as an adult, as a person, or with their bodies. So that's I've spoken to a few sex workers over the years. Some do it to support their children because they're raising children on their own. One or two do it because they enjoy sex. Basically, it comes down to money, but they're all there because that's what they wanted to do and needed to do. It was their choice. And I don't criticise or frown upon that. If you were broke, whether you're a male or female, how far would you go to put a roof over your child's head, to put food in their stomach and clothes on their back? So, let's talk about that on the 4th of April, 1 p.m. to 3 p.m. If you want to join the chat, send me an email at blindadvocate007@gmail.com, and I'll send you a link a couple of days before the live stream, and I'll send out again the morning of the live stream. So everybody who wants to participate has the ability to come up and chat. The other thing I wanted to talk about this morning was people who are blind or vision impaired or have a disability who are self-managed, accessing programs to help them do that. Now, for bookkeeping, my wife has done bookkeeping for nearly 30 years. She used QuickBooks and MYOB. I had a look at QuickBooks years ago, which is, I think QuickBooks and MYOB are now cloud-based. QuickBooks was somewhat accessible the last time I looked at it. I don't know what it's like now. Maybe someone in a expert in that field, such as David Woodbridge, may be able to investigate that. From David from Vision Australia, he may be able to look into that for us. But QuickBooks and MYOB, and there's also a new one called Xero, which is really popular at the moment. It's also cloud-based. I don't know how accessible it is, but if anyone's got some information on that, please let us know as soon as possible. It'll really help some people who are self-managed and are having trouble finding something that's accessible. Is there anyone in chat? No, okay. All right. I also want to send a story from a current affair again about a woman in Sydney having problems accessing her home. She sustained a brain injury after an elevator or lift dropped 3 floors and crashed into the basement. She's had this ramp done twice. The first time it was done, there was no handrails. It was a bit too steep. The second one was better, but still not meeting her needs. So again, I think they're doing it for a third time. But as you'll see in the story, she's signed a contractual agreement with herself, her OT, and the government OT. And I don't know, this lady's OT, what knowledge or experience she's had. I probably would have went through an organisation like Spinal Cord Injuries Australia, used their OTs who are experts in this area. But I'll just get you to play that clip now, Chris, please. This is from Channel 9's Current Affair.
Make all your work wishes come true with Monday.com.
Next quarter's projections are looking great, guys.
Warning. Some of this content may...
Wrong one. We'll get there.
Paige can't walk into her own home because of a building bungle. Crippled with pain, she's fed up with the bureaucratic mess.
It's unfair, it's unethical, and it's unjust.
For Paige Dowd, this is painful and embarrassing.
I'll just have a rest. It's tiring.
But that's what happens every time you try to do that.
Yeah. Every time I've tried to do it, that's what happens.
Even in her wheelchair.
This is where it gets hard for me.
Simply getting herself inside her home is almost impossible.
I can't get up there.
So if you don't have a carer, you don't have one of your children, you don't have anyone here.
I can't come out of my house. I won't be able to come out of my house.
What does your independence mean to you?
My independence is everything, and I've worked so hard towards keeping my independence.
Paige suffered a brain injury in an elevator accident 13 years ago.
The lift that I was in didn't slow down before it hit the ground. Like I went down 3 floors and it hit the ground at the travelling speed in the buffer of the basement. So that has caused all of the issues that I live with today.
Her injuries complicated by a brain tumour in 2018. The 55-year-old now lives with functional neurological disorder.
That's what's hard for a lot of people to understand me and my disability, because they'll see me walking around normal one day and then the next day I'm in a wheelchair.
Any incline or uneven surface causes severe tremors in Paige's arms and legs.
When my tremors get so bad, I walk like a toddler starting to walk all over again. And it's embarrassing
even in her own backyard.
So I deserve to be able to access my house freely.
Paige has only just moved into the Sydney home, despite signing a lease on this community housing property back in 2020. She's grateful the inside has been completely renovated. But outside, Paige says it's been a long and expensive battle with the New South Wales government to simply make it safe for her to enter and leave her home.
If the government would have listened, they wouldn't have spent this much money in the first place. They've done 2 lots of full modifications out here, 2 different ramps, okay? They've ripped the whole cement up, they've installed the lift, but they did it the way they thought was okay.
How much in taxpayers' money do you think's been spent in this backyard?
Way over $200,000.
This was the first ramp installed by the government's Land and Housing Corporation in 2021.
And I just don't know how I even try to walk up this.
No rails and far too steep for Paige's disability.
Oh my God. See that?
No, let's go down.
Contractors returned the following year and reconfigured the ramp.
I'll just have a rest. It's tiring.
Which, as you can see, hasn't made it any easier or accessible.
Her feet like a glue to the ground.
What are you feeling when that happens?
Like I can't control my body. And it aches, it hurts. I need this ramp removed.
So if it was flat moving into this
If this
would
was
be
flat-
better? Would it be better?
If this was flat, see, I'm going to cramp up now. Hold on,
You're right.
sorry, yeah.
It's very hard because if she doesn't have us, I don't know, she won't survive.
Flat, no incline whatsoever, because incline is doing the damage to me. The lift doesn't have enough reach to reach the veranda, so they decided among themselves to put this big brick slab underneath it, a cement slab.
Walking up the road to enter her front door is hardly a solution, unless Paige can jag a car park in her busy Maroubra street and never use her backyard.
I'm asking for compassion and common sense.
In a statement sent to A Current Affair, the New South Wales Land and Housing Corporation said,
"The works were completed in accordance with specific recommendations documented by Ms. Dowd's own occupational therapist, alongside an independent occupational therapist engaged by the New South Wales Government. A formal legal agreement was entered into by all parties in relation to the agreed modifications prior to the works being carried out at the property."
I've been degraded. I feel like I'm not worthy of what I deserve, and that's how they've made me feel.
Since we got involved, Paige has met with the Housing Corporation and NDIS to fix her access. So much money's been wasted, just get it done.
Right. Now, for those who don't know, when I first got sick in 1989, I went paralysed from the waist down. It took the doctors nearly 2 months to find the problem. I was told I'd never walk again. If I did, I'd have to use calipers and a walking frame. I can walk, if I walk long distances, that night my legs will spasm. When I go to the gym and my exercise physiologist, they try to get me to do squats, and if I do, again I go into spasm, so I no longer do either of those things. We can't just blanket cover this issue. It's an individual based problem. I have a slight understanding of what she's talking about and what she's going through. For those people who have seen my interview with Steve on my Blind Advocate YouTube channel, Steve and I lived together for a while, quite a few years ago. I've seen his legs spasm that bad, jumping around. He's nearly fallen out of the chair. So, spasms, and Cindy as well, with her MS, her legs would spasm and jump around overnight. She'd have to get up and lay down the kitchen tiles where it was that was cool, just to ease the spasms. So it's not an easy issue to resolve. So, I probably would have went to an OT who specialised in that field to try and get it done once and done properly, not 3 times. It's not good enough. I feel sorry for the lady. It's just unfortunate that she's had to go through that, but it truly is. You have to experience it to understand what she's talking about. I don't know. Anyway, that's another story on a disability where a person's having problem accessing their home. It's just the basic needs and requirements, I think. All right. Also, I sent an email into the AAT regarding my application for financial assistance in getting an accessible air conditioner. As I said last week, it's been installed. It's accessible. I can turn each zone on and off myself with the air conditioner and with the heating. Works really good. So when at winter time, when I'm up 1, 2 o'clock in the morning and it's -8, I can turn the office up to where I'm sitting. I also sent an email to the AAT asking if I can record or stream any of the tribunal process to my channel, because I believe it's in the public interest to let those people know or are thinking about going down the road of lodging a complaint against the NDIS with the tribunal. I think it's in the public interest and it'll help a lot of people. Still haven't heard back about either. I've got a receipt saying that they've received the emails, but I've had no response. And that's been 2 weeks since all that's happened, nearly 3 for the requesting to be able to record the tribunal process. Look, I do these chats every week, hoping that people will come and join the chat and come up and talk about anything, any topic they want to talk about. It's up to you what you want to talk about. I invite anyone at any time. It doesn't even have to be disability related. If you just want to come up and chat because you feel a bit lonely, that's perfectly fine. Just, it's open there for everyone to use to come up. So, all right. There's no one in chat? No one in chat. All right, we might call it quits there for the day. There's no one in chat. I'm not going to hang around and talk about nothing. But I will be talking about sex. I don't know if anybody's ever seen that movie, The Life of Brian, where Brian's mother goes, sex, sex, sex. That's all you ever think about is sex, sex, sex. So, yes, we're going to talk about sex on the 4th of April. So, come and listen. Come and join in on the chat. You're all welcome. Okay, might just end it there. Thanks, Chris.